We live in a society that wants to label you with a color, sexuality, religion, or ethnicity. It divides us, but it also allows us to find pride in our identity. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't ever apologize for your sexuality. Just be you. The rainbow is a part of nature, and you have to be in the right place to see it. It's beautiful, all of the colors, even the colors you can't see, that really fit us as a people, because we are all of the colors. Our sexuality is all of the colors. We are all the genders, races, and ages. Sexuality is one of the biggest parts of who we are. It's not just about being sexy. It's about being confident, and me being confident in my sexuality. All women do have a different sense of sexuality, or sense of fun, or sense of like what's sexy, or cool, or tough. I've always understood the two to be intertwined. Sexuality and spirituality. That never changed. I have beauty, intelligence, individuality, sensuality, and sexuality. I have never thought about my sexuality being right or wrong. To me, it has always been a case of finding the right person. If repression has indeed been the fundamental link between power, knowledge, and sexuality since the classical age, it stands to reason that we will not be able to free ourselves from it, except at a considerable cost. It still strikes me as strange that anyone could have any moral objection to someone else's sexuality. It's like telling someone else how to clean their house. I am so confident and empowered by my sexuality. It plays an enormous part in my life. Each person's drive to overwork is unique, and doing too much numbs every workaholic's emotions differently. Sometimes overwork numbs depression, sometimes anger, sometimes envy, sometimes sexuality. Or the overworker runs herself ragged in a race for attention. I always thought that I might retire from any form of sexuality by the age of 40 and just become a dignified older person. My sexuality is a part of me that I really like, but it's not the totality of me. Latin women are very comfortable with their bodies and their sexuality. We aren't afraid to show that off a little bit more. I'm never going to be cast as a Bond girl. I mean, I could do it, and I would love it. but I don't boost sexuality. I thought sexuality was instinctive or natural, but it's profoundly linked to inner security and cultural context. I'm very confident in my sexuality, and I really don't like talking about my romantic life in the press. Sexuality and sensuality are completely different things. Sensuality is something that you're born with, but sexuality is something I leave from my own mirror. All human beings deserve equal treatment, no matter their gender identity or sexuality. I think that sexuality is only attractive when it's natural and spontaneous. Sexuality is who you want to be with. Gender identity is who you want to be in the world. Be strong. Believe in freedom and in God. Love yourself. Understand your sexuality. Have a sense of humor. Masturbate. Don't judge people by their religion, color, or sexual habits. Love life and your family. Sexuality is one of the ways that we become enlightened. Actually, because it leads us to self-knowledge. I've used my femininity and my sexuality as a weapon and a tool, but that's just natural. Sexuality is who you are personally attracted to, but gender identity is who you are in your soul. Personally, I would never use sexuality or looks as a selling point. I just came into my own sexuality at 30. I don't think it's something you can deeply experience at 18 or any time before that. Sexuality isn't something you create. It is between people, and then it just happens. Sexuality doesn't need to be defended or justified. I think one's sexuality can be the center of life, and coming out and discovering your sexuality is something that really can define your existence. With dancing, so much is about sexuality and sensuality, and without life experience, it becomes much more of a performance rather than a living, breathing entity from the soul. I just feel my sexuality is private. I'm very shy about being sexy. That part of me has been so close to the public eye. I've sold millions of records with my clothes on. It doesn't bother me or Curtis being questioned about our sexuality, and it probably happens more because we're dancers. That stereotype is disappearing, but people always made ignorant, short-sighted comments when we were growing up. When I completely submerge my sensuality or my sexuality, I'm not very interesting. I think sexuality is a window into someone's soul.